After the Oscars.
I'm taking you on an adventure.
Teri Hatcher seems proudest of two things in her life: her daughter Emerson,
Here you go.
all right, here we go, and this 1978 VW camper van.
Good for you. Isn't that great?
I get the sense she prefers it to the house.
Oh, have you ever had s'mores before?
Who? This is the story of a pretty young woman who wanted to be a star. I know you think you've heard this story before, but this is a woman who also makes s'mores in her minibus.
Cheers. Cheers. To you.
Yes, she's an actress, but this is no act.
It's not glamorous, but good. It's truly insane.
Her parents were brainy types. Dad, a physicist, Mom, a computer programmer. So, of course, Teri became a cheerleader. That's right, for the San Francisco 49ers.
Gopher.
She got her first break on the Love Boat.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Or was it MacGyver?
I'm Penny Parker. You can remember that because it's got the same letter at the front of each name.
The point is, Teri rambled around Hollywood for a few years, a face without a name. In fact, she was mostly known for another part of her anatomy, thanks to a memorable episode of Seinfeld.
And by the way, they're real and they're spectacular. And we're off.
The road to stardom can be a bumpy ride. It's easy to get lost in this town. There are a lot of pretty girls with dreams thinking, all I need is a break.
I just love how the car sort of floats along.
She got one.
Clark.
Not a huge break, not a I'll never have to work another day in my life kind of break.
He's controlling my mind with some sort of device.
Just a starring role as Lois Lane on the moderately successful series Lois and Clark. In truth, she's probably better known for the promotional poster. She does know how to accessorize with a cape.
Not too much farther. Don't be nervous.
I'm not
We're doing good. All right.
I'm fine. And that's where this journey should have ended. After all, Lois and Clark had been canceled years ago. She was pushing 40, divorced twice, single mom, and had already been a Bond girl. It was time to, as Will Ferrell just said, scout other employment opportunities. Then something extraordinary happened. Married women decided in the wake of Sex and the City that they wanted to be bad girls too, at least on television.
You're leaving without even trying to talk me into having your baby?
Why should sex only be in the city and only for single people? Don't the rest of us deserve a little guilty pleasure?
I'm up here.
Desperate Housewives was born, and the self-described has-been, Teri Hatcher, playing the role of Susan, has become in a few short months Primetime's biggest star.
That's how it is with me. A guy just smiles at me 3 times and I'm picking out wedding china.
It was like Hollywood had suddenly discovered the merits in recycling, like she had been reborn. So this is the beautiful view. This is where you hike?
Yes.
You and Emerson?
Yeah, we hike from here. You can hike down to my house.
When you stand here and you're looking, you know, you got the whole world. What does it feel like?
It's like I did an extreme makeover on my life instead of my body.
And now, with 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, a Golden Globe, and a full life with a 7-year-old daughter, everything is different for Teri Hatcher. Well, almost everything. In your Golden Globe speech, you said you were a has-been. Describe what it is like to be a has-been in this city, where if you're not in, boy, are you out.
You just did.
Okay. And this concludes our interview.
Yeah, this concludes our interview. Gosh, you know, I mean, the reality is I guess, very different than what the perception is, because your agent cannot get you an audition. I mean, you can't even get in the door to try to change somebody's mind.
What was the lowest point?
In my whole life?
You can do your whole life, and you can do the last few years. I have time. Pick the choice.
Well, there were some pretty low points within my marriage because I really wanted to make it work. Mostly for Emerson, I wanted her to have 2 parents in the same house, and kind of went through a couple years of just sort of deadening myself, like to just feel like it's fine, anything can be fine. You know, I don't need any more than this is. I can just be here and I can just kind of be dead. And I felt like I sort of was sort of dead. And then it was really painful when I finally decided that I was going to have to make this choice to get out of this marriage, or, you know, life was just not going to be anything.
Well, like your character, in addition to being divorced, you said you're a failure with men. You beautiful creature. How can you say that?
Well, because it hasn't worked out, and I'm willing to kind of take the blame. I think, really honestly, you know, I get to know someone and they can be great, and that can kind of be moving forward. And then I just get scared. You know, I get scared. That's sort of my pattern.
That it won't work?
Yeah, that it won't work, or that it'll hurt too much to really fall deeply in love with somebody, and then what if they leave, and all that.
Well, now
That's the part where I cry.
You want to cry a little bit?
No, I'm holding back.
You recently said that you hadn't had sex in, what, 4 years
No,
or
somebody
something?
else said that. I said I hadn't had sex in a long time.
Okay.
And then somebody suddenly applied the 4 to it.
Okay. Is it still true that you haven't had sex in a long time?
I'm good now. I'm good now.
Oh, I see. So the point of this is that you do not need a real-life plumber to unclog your pipes.
No, I could probably use one. No, you know, I don't want to poo-poo that. That, when it's good, can be really good. That's the thing. I'm not closed off to that. I'm just not desperate for it.
Are you always this outspoken?
Yes, I am. I think I just don't know any other way to be. I'm very honest. I really am.
One of the ways you said you were like Susan, your character. First of all, you say she's insecure, you're insecure.
I guess so, yeah. All the girls call me neurotic, so I guess I'm neurotic. And
the women on the show, yeah, I think they picked you
they picked me as the most neurotic, which initially hurt my feelings, and then I went and, you know, looked up what neurotic actually meant.
Is it a good side? Yeah.
Well, I think the good side of neurotic, I mean, it's not a good side, really, but it is accurate, so I need to, like, accept the label because I am like this. That I worry about things that I don't have to worry about. You know, I create that, I guess.
What if you hadn't gotten this job? Here you are, this has-been.
Yeah.
I heard at one point you were so upset you curled up on the kitchen floor crying. Is that so?
Yeah, it's very warm by the oven. When
As long as you don't put your head in
it's
it.
a good spot to curl up.
But what if you hadn't gotten this job?
I don't know. I mean, it is so radical, the swing that has happened in the last 9 months. It is truly, really should be inspirational to anyone in any career that you cannot predict where you're going to be a year from now. Because if you had said to me, this is where I'd be in this show with these awards, with you in my house, here's where I cry, interviewing me, I mean, seriously, insane.
Teri, if anybody had told me that for Academy Award night I would be interviewing Teri Hatcher, I would say, oh yeah, Lois and Clark, oh, whatever happened to her? Oh, you are crying. No, I don't want to make you cry. These are good things.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good cry. It's a cry. It's a release. It's like, wow, you know? The tears are really tears of joy. Sometimes Emerson and I, we have that expression, you know, where I'll say, are those sad tears or tears of joy? These are tears of joy. You know, they're tears of gratefulness, tears of respect that life is a really fragile, unpredictable, amazing ride. And this is the good part. Like you said, this is the good part. And it might last 5 more minutes, or it might last 5 years.
Not the way this show's going. It's going to last a long time. Has the success of this show, your success, changed you inside?
I remember a specific moment before I turned 40, or actually right on my 40th birthday. I got up at 6 and I thought, I'm gonna go for a 3-mile jog because I still can. And so I went out my house and I'm jogging, and the Golden Globes were coming up, and I was thinking, oh, I'm not gonna win, I'm not gonna win, I'm not gonna win. And I just had this conscious place where I stopped and I said, you know, really, Teri, do you want to spend an entire other decade, a whole other decade of your life telling yourself what you're not going to do? Isn't there some place that you can have value about yourself without taking away value from anyone else. Because I always thought, like, my mother, I would call it the burnt toast syndrome. My mother would always take the piece of burnt toast. You know, if you're doing breakfast or the end piece, you know, or anything, the burnt thing, the lousy thing, it always said, oh, I'll have that, you have the good thing. And what I realized is it was kind of a bad message, because it sort of made me feel like for me to have anything meant that I was taking something away from someone else. And now I feel like I've really consciously shifted to this place. Maybe I'm just finally ready for good things to happen for me, because I was really used to and comfortable with being a survivor of bad things.
I'm amazed when I talk to you. I know it's a cliche, how much Teri is like Susan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I'm just not that good of an actress. All your words, they're just crap. I just finally found a role that actually is me.
Story of a pretty young woman who wanted to be a star. I know you think you've heard this story before, but this is a woman who also makes s'mores in her minibus.
Cheers.
To you. Yes, she's an actress, but this is no act.
It's not glamorous, but good. It's truly insane.
Remember that because it's got the same letter at the front of each name.
The point is, Teri rambled around Hollywood for a few years, a face without a name. In fact, she was mostly known for another part of her anatomy, thanks to a memorable episode of Seinfeld.
And by the way, they're real and they're spectacular.
After the Oscars.
You're taking me.
Taking you on an adventure.
Teri Hatcher seems proudest of two things in her life, her daughter Emerson.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
And this 1978 VW camper van.
Oh, good for you.
Isn't that great?
I get the sense she prefers it to the house.
Oh, have you ever had s'mores before?
Who? This is the story. Her parents were brainy types. Dad, a physicist, Mom, a computer programmer. So, of course, Teri became a cheerleader. That's right, for the San Francisco 49ers.
Gopher.
She got her first break on the Love Boat.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Or was it MacGyver?
I'm Penny Parker. You can remember.
And we're off.
The road to stardom can be a bumpy ride. It's easy to get lost in this town. There are a lot of pretty girls with dreams thinking, all I need is a break.
I just love how the car sort of floats along.
She got one.
Clark.
Not a huge break, not a